What a cutie. What are you doing, Aiden?
Just kissing.
Just kissing. You're a dog. He's playing Play-Doh. Hey guys,
No.
so I was just sitting down feeding Havila, and while I was doing that, I decided to jump on YouTube and watch a couple videos because I hadn't done that in a while, and I love doing it. And I was watching Corinne and Matt. If you don't watch that channel or know who I'm talking about, go search them because she's actually part of the reason why I wanted to start doing videos. She's a whole lot better at it than me, obviously, but she's awesome and she's so real, and I loved watching her stuff, and so I sort of wanted to do the same sort of thing and, you know, put stuff out there for other people to watch and that as well. So anyway, so I was watching her video. She's really awesome and lovely. One of the videos I was catching up on was she was saying, I think she was out at a grocer, and one of the people in the queue behind her had said about her boys, do they have the same father and stuff. She was saying that how, you know, like, it doesn't really matter, and how people say things that they really shouldn't and stuff. I took Havila to go get weighed. I took her to the child health clinic, and I took all 3 of the kids with me this time. And the lady there she was really lovely. She was really nice. And she sees the 3 kids and she goes, "Oh, are they all yours?" And I was like, "Yep, they are." And then she goes, "Oh, you must be a busy little mummy." And I was like, "Yeah, reckon so." Like, little, is that because I'm short, or is that because I look like a 12-year-old with bags and wrinkles? Well, this doesn't help. I'll talk about that soon. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, so busy little mummy, and I was like, "Yep." And she says, "Oh, do you know about the groups, you know, because child health, I don't know if they all do it, but the ones local to me all do, like, groups that the kids can go to and stuff." And I don't bother going to them. I went to one when Eden was a baby. They set up all the mums that had their babies in a short space of time. Well, not all of them, I don't know. There was quite a group of us, but and we all went and hung out together and brought the baby, and we talked about life with kids and all that sort of thing. So I did go to that one, but I don't go to any of the others because they're usually for specific age groups. So they got babies ones, and I guess my 2 babies now could probably go together. I don't know, I haven't kept track of the ages and stuff, but then Eden would be excluded and vice versa. And so for those of you that don't know, none of my kids go to daycare or anything like that. So she says, you know, "Do you know about the classes?" And I said, "Yeah, I do. I did the one that I did when Eden was young, but I don't go to any others." And she says to me, "Oh, it must be pretty hard just getting out the front door, I guess." And it just felt, she meant it nice, I think, but it just came off as so condescending. And I turned around and I said, "Actually, we're planning on homeschooling, so I make quite the effort to make sure my kids are socialised things." And she's like, "Oh, okay," and she sort of shut up after that. I don't think she meant to be rude, but it came across as totally condescending. I was like, why do people think that once you've got a couple of kids that, like, everything is just, not just difficult, but I guess, and I mean, it is. It's a lot harder than it was with 2, and that was a lot harder than it was with 1. But, I mean, you just sort of, like, figure it out. I don't even know how to explain it. You just, like, learn how to do things. Even today, I had to go to a physio appointment, and she came out to, you know, to the physio came out to grab me and Havila and take us in for our appointment, and I'd only had Havila with me for this one, and she just decided to go for a feed, right, like, maybe a minute before she walked out to get us. So she was on the boob. So then when she come and get me, I had to pick up my stuff into my handbag and carry Havila on the boob into the room. And then she said something to me about how clever it was that I'd done that, and I was like, what? I was like, I've mowed and breastfed before. You just sort of figure it out. I make a conscious effort to try and learn to do things and multitask in that sense. But I was like, that just seems so basic. But yeah, so anyway, you know, like, I just found it really funny, and it sort of felt like it was something that woman at Child Health, I felt that she really shouldn't have said. You know, that whole, "Are they all yours?" Like, I get it, and I used to nanny, so, you know, it wasn't always the case when I'd have a couple of kids with me that they were all mine. But I'd like to hope that my kids look somewhat like me. I mean, I don't think they do. They look more like their dad, and especially, I mean, Havila has the dark hair right now. My other 2 are blonde, so, and Terry and I are both dark haired. So I get that. I was sort of like, I was just a bit shocked. I just thought, I just feel like that's probably not something you should say. More the way she said it, I guess. You know, I don't get offended by things people say, really. I mean, sometimes I do, but mostly I just laugh it off and I think, oh well, my life. Right around the time that I chose to do the social media fast, I noticed that I was starting to have issues with my milk supply. not so much my supply, it does equate to that, but basically I was having issues with my letdowns, and Havilah was gaining weight very slowly. So I'd had a few issues that I hadn't really thought of, you know, because it had only been a few weeks, has still only been a few weeks since we'd had the baby and stuff, and so I didn't really take anything that was happening to me on board. I didn't really, you know, so the things that happened were like headaches, like really sharp, painful headaches. I'd had those for a while, and there was a couple of times where I sort of walked into a room and I'd stand there and like my mind and my eyes just went, whoa. I don't know how else to explain that, but that happened a couple of times where I just like instantaneously at the same time my mind and my eyes just lost focus of everything for a split second, and that happened a few times. And anyway, so like I wasn't really feeling well. There's a few other things, you know, like I felt still pregnant, and I still do feel pregnant, or you know, between the headaches, but I can't stand meat really at the moment, and a few other things. So basically, when I was thinking, okay, this is an issue with my milk, I went looking for answers, and everyone gives the whole, you know, you're drinking enough, are you eating enough, are you feeding enough, is there ties, is there this, that and the other. Now, being my third baby and having issues with all of them, I was just like eye roll at all the answers I was getting. And I know it sounds terrible because people just want to help, but even Google, I was just like, oh, like my problems are beyond this. Anyway, so I did some more searching, a little bit deeper and stuff, and I was like, okay, let's find out, like, it's the letdowns. I know it's the letdowns. It's not a case of just not feeling the letdowns. I know I'm not getting them, you know, even when I pump and stuff, I could feel that I'd get the one letdown and that would be it. And yes, I know pumping isn't a sign of how much you get when you're feeding, okay, so I know all that. And then, anyway, so I started looking a little bit deeper, and I was searching, you know, they say stress with your letdown, so I do the whole, like, you know, I'd put on nice music, I'd watch videos of my baby, I'd look at pictures, I'd listen to her cry, I'd have a hot shower, I'd do the compress, I'd take deep breaths, I did all that. And I was like, something else has to be wrong, you know, you just feel like something else is wrong. So, anyway, so yeah, I did some Dr. Google, and they were saying about hypertension. And I was like, well, I doubt I have that, but I do recall when I was in hospital, they did one set of obs on me when I got back into the maternity ward, and they said, we're just having a bit of an issue getting your blood pressure back down. So that was fine, and they never did any more obs on me while I was there. I only stayed over the night, but they never did any more obs on me. They did the couple on Havilah, and that was it. Sorry, that was really annoying. That was my dishwasher. So, and also, as you know, my grandmother was in the hospital at the same time. So I had a lot going on, and I didn't really think anything of it. And I thought, you know, it's just because I just given birth, whatever. And the other thing was having a BMI over 26. Well, I'm currently overweight. So not just baby weight, I eat too much, and I don't get physical health. That sounds worse than it should have. You know, I don't get out and do much exercise and stuff like that, and especially not having a new baby and being heavily pregnant and stuff. I haven't done that. So I've got the extra weight. My BMI is on 29.1 or something, so it's not good. So my doctor was on that night, and he wasn't going to be on the next day. So I raced up to the doctor's, and I was like, look, just check these two things out, or tell me what you think, even if nothing else, but to rule them out. And so he's like, all right, first up, we'll check your blood pressure. So he checked my blood pressure, and he was like, this is higher than I sent you to the hospital with while you were pregnant. And I was like, really? What is it? And he said it was either 155 over 100 or 155 over 110. So that's stage 2 hypertension. So it turns out I do have hypertension. Anyway, so straight away I got chucked on meds, and he said, you know, do some exercise and eat healthy, obviously, for the BMI, and it should help with the blood pressure. So I've sort of been a bit chaotic between that, and that's just the start of it. Between that and the social media fast, no one's really heard anything from me. So I thought I'm just gonna, I let everyone know that I was taking the fast on Facebook, and again, not food fast. I'm breastfeeding, so I didn't do that. And I was just like, you know, I'm just going to take this week to be by myself, and I'm not going to do play dates or anything anything that I didn't have to do, basically. I just wanted to keep it to the bare minimum. So that's what I've done so far. The week's not up yet, but I had to go back to the doctors again because I have boils again. And I'm pretty sure I've spoken about this once before. I got them when I was pregnant with Noah and when we had the miscarriage. So I've never had them before in my life. So it seems to be a hormonal thing that, coupled with the meat, and, you know, I said I felt like I was pregnant and stuff like that. There's also issues like the skin around my fingernails. Sorry about my fingers, I chew my nails, they're disgusting. But the skin around them is peeling, not just because my hands are dry. It's different. I don't know how to explain that. And like a few other things. So I also then realised, as I was talking to my doctor about these couple of problems that I was having, I realised that despite taking my prenatal vitamin while I was pregnant and now, that I'd not had this whole time, and only just realised that I'd not had the fluoro P or anything even close to that, which was really weird for me. And obviously the fluoro P comes from the extra B vitamins in your system and stuff like that. So I've gone and had a ton of blood tests done yesterday. They're going to check my prolactin levels anyway, just because I want to keep it. I want to, you know, make sure that it's not an issue, and if it is, get on top of it. But they're checking for vitamin deficiencies because that's what it's seeming to be an issue. And a few other things I can't even think really right now. And I also got to get a scan done because I started getting like numbness in like my fingers when I sleep while in the end of the pregnancy with Havila, and it's not gone away. So it looks like carpal tunnel, so I'm going for scans for that soon. Yeah, and I think that's probably about it for that. But so there's a whole lot going on. So I've sort of kept myself at late trying to stay home, relax, chuck exercise in, which has been super hard. With Havila, she doesn't want to be put down, and which is fine. And then the kids, and trying not to let them, because my treadmill is like right in the lounge room where they want to play and stuff, even though they have the toy room. Yeah, baby. He's alright, I'll be over in a second. Yeah, so it's been kind of hard. I actually took photos because I had to breastfeed Havila and do my walk on the treadmill the other day. And yeah, so I'm sort of just been keeping to myself, just going to things that I have to do, appointments, I have to do church and things like that, rather than making too much extra effort, which has been kind of sad, but that's what I've been doing. So hopefully things pick up soon. My blood pressure's gone down heaps already, which is great. And seems to be, the letdowns seem to be getting better. So she put on like 70 grams in a space of like 3 days, which is great, because I think the week before she only put on 80 grams for the entire week, which obviously isn't good. So fingers crossed that means things are going better and looking up, and I'll be able to get back out and start hanging out with people and doing things again. So that's my, for the time being. But anyway, that's that. Alright, catch you later, guys. Bye.